If you wish to conduct a flight under VFR in or around the Hudson River, your flight may take you into the Hudson River Class B exclusion. The FAA has identified 3 airspace designations for VFR flights conducted over the Hudson River. The first designation describes operations being provided separation services by air traffic control at 1,300 feet above mean sea level, or MSL, and higher. This is Class B airspace and is not part of the Hudson River exclusion. The second designation is transient operations that are conducted between 1,000 and up to but not including 1,300 feet MSL. And the third designation describes local operations, which are flights conducted between the surface and up to but not including 1,000 feet MSL. If your planned flight is a local operation or a transient operation between the surface and up to but not including 1,300 feet, you are operating in the Hudson River exclusion. Let's take a closer look at the boundaries that define the Hudson River exclusion. These are further defined in Regulation 93-350. The Hudson River exclusion starts at the north near the Alpine Tower. It continues to the south to the Verrazano Narrows Bridge. For the most part, the width of the exclusion is the width of the Hudson River. To minimize the risk of mid-air collisions in this airspace, the FAA has established operational requirements that you must follow. If you wish to conduct a flight under VFR in or around the East River, your flight may take you into the East River exclusion. The FAA has identified 2 airspace designations for VFR flights conducted over the East River. The first designation describes operations conducted in Class B airspace and is not part of the East River exclusion. The second designation describes operations conducted between the surface and up to but not including the floor of Class B. If your planned flight falls in this designation, you are operating in the East River exclusion. Let's take a closer look at the boundaries that define the East River exclusion. These are further defined in Regulation 93-350. The East River exclusion starts at the southwestern tip of Governor's Island and continues to the north tip of Roosevelt Island. The width of the East River exclusion is the width of the river. Air operations conducted in the East River exclusion are predominantly helicopters and seaplanes landing and departing. Although other operators may be authorized to conduct flights in the East River exclusion, to minimize the risk of mid-air collisions in this airspace, the FAA has established operational requirements that you must follow. Let's assume you have planned a transient operations flight over the Hudson River. You plan to fly at 1,100 feet MSL. Your planned route is to fly over the Hudson River from the south to the north. Because your flight is considered a transient operation, it will be conducted above 1,000 feet MSL and below 1,300 feet MSL and takes you into the Hudson River exclusion. This means you must follow the operational procedures described in Regulations 93-351 and 93-352. To follow these procedures, your airspeed must not exceed 140 knots, and you must turn on your anti-collision position navigation lights if equipped. The use of landing lights is recommended as well. As you approach the Hudson River exclusion, you must self-announce your position at required reporting points, as identified in the New York Terminal Area Chart or New York Helicopter Route Chart, which you must have in the aircraft and be familiar with. Your position announcement should be brief and must include your aircraft type, your current position, the direction of flight, and your altitude. When flying from the south to the north, the first reporting point is the Verrazano Narrows Bridge, which should be reported as VZ. Piper VZ 1,100 feet northbound. Note that on south to north flights, you should fly along the east shore of the river. As you continue northbound, the next reporting point is the Statue of Liberty. Piper, Statue of Liberty, 1,100 feet northbound. Continuing north in the Hudson River exclusion, you must announce yourself at the clock on the west bank of the river, reported as clock. The Intrepid Sea Air Museum, reported as Intrepid. The George Washington Bridge, reported as GWB. And Alpine Tower, reported as Alpine Tower. Once you are clear of the Hudson River exclusion, continue your flight as normal, following all applicable requirements.